Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how we could apply effects to an image. So let's say you want to make an application wherein you want to apply various effects to your image. So we are going to learn how we could do that, and in this tutorial we are going to learn a simple image effect which is nothing but inverting the colors. So basically what we are trying to do is that we are going to take an image and invert the color of an image. So let's get started with this tutorial. So the first thing which you need to do is that you need to start a new Android Studio project. So click here and let's name it as image effects. Click next and select the API level as 15. Click next and select the blank activity. Click finish. So the first thing which we need to do is that we need to import an image to our Android Studio project so that we could work with the image. So let's delete the text view first, and now let's get an image into our Android Studio project. So what I've done is that I have copied one image from the internet and we are going to use the same image. So this is of the dimension 200 by 200, and make sure that you use a similar dimension or closer. And also one thing, you need to make sure that you have the PNG image, and you might also use the JPEG image, but it's better to use a PNG file. So once we have this image, we simply copy this image, we go inside our Android Studio and we go to the drawable folder and we go here and paste the image, and let's name it as image1.png. click OK, and as you could see, our image appeared right over here. So we could go ahead and use this image. So the first thing which you'll need to do is that you'll need to add an image view onto your layout so that the image could be properly displayed onto that image view. So let's go ahead and drag an image view and drop it on our screen. So we select it and let's say we drop it here. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to specify the minimum height and the minimum width of this image. So let's go here and let's assign the minimum height to be 300 dp and the minimum width to be 300 dp as well. So as you could see, this is our square image and you could align it properly by dragging and dropping it. Once we are done with this, the next thing which we do is that we need to assign an ID, and it's better to assign our own ID, and that is because it is easy to remember. So we name it as, or we assign the ID as my image view. So now once everything is done, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to invert the image. So in order to invert the image, we need to go to this main activity.java, and inside here, as usual, we clean up the code. So after cleaning the code, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to get a reference to the image view as well as the image, and we need to convert the image into a bitmap image so that we could apply some effects to it. So the first thing which we need to do is that we need to get a reference to the image view as well as the image. So we go here and declare some variables. So we type image view, let's name it as my image view, and for the photo which we have just copied, we use drawable. So we type drawable, let's name it as my flower. So my flower, and let's use the bitmap image and let's name it as bitmap image. So we type bitmap and we name it as bitmap image. So once we have created these variables, we get a reference to them inside this on create. So we go inside on create and we type my image view equals, and we typecast it to image view. So we type image view and then we find view by ID. So we type find view by ID r dot id dot my image view. So we have the reference to the image view. Now we get a reference to the bitmap. So in order to get a reference to the bitmap image, we type bitmap image and inside we give another bracket, and inside it we type bitmap drawable to typecast it, and then we specify the name of our image which is my flower. Then we use the method which is called as the get bitmap. So we type get bitmap here, and the next thing which we need to do is that we need to invert the image. So in order to invert the image, we need to create a variable, but before doing that, as you could see, once we have the reference to the my image view, after this, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to save our image into this my flower variable right over here. So in order to do that, we come here and we type my flower equals to, and we get the reference to the image. So we type my flower equals resources compact, which is right over here. Then we use the method which is called as get drawable. So we type get drawable, and in order to get the resource, the first parameter which we pass in is the get resources. Then we give a comma, and then we specify the path where the resource is located. So we type r dot, and as it is contained in the drawable, so we type drawable, then we type in dot, and then we give the image name, which is image1. And one more thing which we need to pass in is going to be the null value. So this image1 is nothing but, if you switch to this drawable right here, here is our image which is called as image1. So once we have added this image to my flowers, we will be able to work on it. So this bitmap image right here is going to get the bitmap of this image right here, which is my flower, and it is going to convert it into bitmap. Now once we have the bitmap image, we could go ahead and process the bitmap. So the next thing which we need to do is that we need to actually invert image, and we need to store it into something. So the format which we are going to store the image in is going to be the bitmap. So again we use bitmap, and let's say the new photo is going to be, let's name it as new photo, which is going to hold the photo which is inverted. Then we type new photo equals, and we are going to use a method which is called as invert image. So we type invert image, and to this we are going to pass this bitmap image which we have just created. So we simply copy this and we paste it over here. Now once this is done, the next thing which we do is that we set our image view to this new photo created. So we type my image view dot set image bitmap, and we pass in the new photo option which we have created. But the thing is that it is going to show us an error for this invert image, and that is because we have not yet added this method for inverting the image. So in the next tutorial we'll be writing a method invert image which is actually going to perform inversion of the image. So in this tutorial we basically got a reference to the image, we have added the image to a variable, and we have converted the image to a bitmap image so that processing can be done on it, so that processing could be done on the image. So in the next tutorial we'll be actually writing some code in order to invert the image. So that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.